Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about sleep. You can see the background here is a little bit different today, which is the cover of my book, which is available on Amazon, entitled Let's Talk About Sleep. We're here to talk today about a viewer of mine asked a great question recently saying, I like to sleep in, is that wrong? So let's go over that. Sleeping in by itself is an enjoyable uh, prospect. Sleeping on a Saturday or a Sunday, getting, quote, that extra sleep. These are all potentially enjoyable things. The problem, though, with sleeping in or the desire to sleep in or even feel like you need to sleep in is that what basically your brain is telling you is that I need more sleep on a regular basis. So, what do I mean by that? Well, the National Sleep Foundation has recommended that the average person needs between 7 to 9 hours per night on average to be considered good quality and or good quantity of sleep, which I agree with. Now, unfortunately, in society, we get much less than that. In America, we sleep an hour less than we did 100 years ago. That doesn't sound like much, but in actuality, that adds up very insidiously over a period of time. So, we're basically a sleep deprived society, and there's a whole host of reasons for that, including technology, kind of like this video you're watching now, video games, TV, movies, all that stuff. That kind of keeps us awake more. On top of that, we are so connected, perhaps too much so, and as a result, we're always checking our emails. We always are given access to to others' work and such, and that can also keep us from getting enough sleep. Now, what happens is getting back to the sleep in issue. So let's say the person, the average person needs 7 hours a night, but they're only getting six, right? So basically, Monday through Friday, they're getting 6 hours. After a week of that, they're essentially 5 hours behind what they actually need because they're only sleeping 6 hours, but they need seven. So Monday night they're behind an hour, Tuesday night they're behind an hour, and that accumulates up. So 5 hours, right? And then they say, okay, I want to sleep in on Saturday till instead of waking up at 7, I'll wake up at 10. Okay. So what happens is they get, let's say, an extra 3 hours, and then Sunday they're right back to the normal routine. So they get about 3 hours of sleep extra on Saturday, and then Sunday is back to their normal routine. So essentially they're getting back 3 hours, but they're missing five. Okay, so that's kind of a small example on 1 week, right? But let's say we look at that over a period of months to years. Science is showing us that chronic sleep deprivation is not good for us. It's not good for our body. It's not good for our mind state. It's not good for our productivity. Um, this is why, if you look at the data from car accidents, the number one day for accidents in America is the day after daylight savings time because of this reason. We're a very sleep deprived society. Then we take an extra hour out of that, and then people's reaction time, all it takes is a split second. The reaction time is not what it could be if they had slept enough, and as a result, tragic things happen. You hear this a lot with the train operators and things of that nature. So, getting back to that question, sleeping in by itself is not that big of a deal, but it has to be looked at in the context of what else is going on. So let's use a more extreme example. Let's say somebody needs 8 hours a night, but they're only getting five. So every night they're 3 hours behind. So after a week of that, or after Monday through Friday of that, they're 15 hours behind. So they decide to sleep in, even let's say 5 hours on Saturday. They're still, that's just a drop in it's a drop of water in an ocean compared to what they actually need. So it's a great question. What I would say is if you want to sleep in on a Saturday and you're getting your enough sleep during the week, and only you can determine that, uh, it's probably okay. It can be a very enjoyable thing, especially if you wake up, let's say, at 7 o'clock and then say, okay, I don't have to go to work today. I'm going to go back to sleep. That releases serotonin and it feels good. But the question, though, is how much sleep are you getting during the week? Now, the other potential problem with that, with sleeping in, is there are some times where people will oversleep. I know that sounds like a misnomer. How is that possible? But when you oversleep, you can actually become more tired. So let's say somebody needs 7 hours a night, and they're getting 7 hours a night, and then because they like it, they want to sleep in on Saturday. They sleep in, let's say, 10 hours, but their body only really needs, let's say, 7. What may happen is they actually may be more tired than they would be otherwise, and they say, "Oh wow, what's going on here? Why am I so exhausted on Saturday?" And the reason being is because they overslept and they have what's called sleep inertia. So inertia is you push something in motion, it keeps going. The body and the brain can do that same thing. If somebody oversleeps, they can actually have that sensation of, oh, I can't get myself out of this mode, of the sleep mode. Now, what can happen sometimes, people who have depression, I'm talking about clinical depression, not my dog died or whatever. I mean, those things can certainly have an effect, but I'm talking more about like clinical, medical depression, even low-lying depression. That can result in people ending up oversleeping, and then as a result of that, it kind of compounds the problem that they just don't feel good in the daytime. So that's something to watch out for. The other issue is if you sleep in, I keep saying Saturday is okay. The thing that I want people to understand is if you sleep in on a Sunday, and sorry, some background noise. If you sleep in on a Sunday, let's say you normally wake up at 7 o'clock and you sleep until 10 o'clock on Sunday, or 11 o'clock on Sunday. Sunday night, when it's time to go back to work for Monday, and you may have a little bit of stress or anxiety from that, compounded with the fact that your brain says, "Well, I got all this extra sleep, and I slept in that morning. I don't have to go to bed necessarily until much later than I normally would." So that can actually make the problem of going to bed Sunday night even more of an issue. So what I would say is overall is if you want to sleep in on a Saturday for an hour or so extra, that's probably okay. But you do want to go back to the question of, am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting enough sleep? And if not, chronically improving your sleep time or increasing your sleep time during the week would be very, very beneficial to you. Okay, so hopefully I answered that question. Thank you for asking that question. I love answering questions, so please, guys, if you have further questions, ask them in the comment section. I will try to get to every single one of them. Please subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, please like that. And again, my book, Let's Talk About Sleep, is on Amazon. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.